Kind of like blah. Alahayna wa Yahweh ba Shim Yahweh Shah Mashiach wa Malaki ba Shim Yahweh wa Fakirash wa Lakatum. Father Bible, Mama, Friend Yahshua. Honor to the pastors, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone and teachers daily. To the men out there teaching the likewise doctrine of the city of Shalom. Today we're gonna get into wars and rumors of wars. It's not a rumor anymore. It's pretty much solidified at this point. I mean, you people don't believe the destruction is on its way by now. You just somewhere with your head in a hole buried somewhere. You are not paying attention. And some of y'all not paying attention on purpose because you people are the people who refuse to face reality. You rather dwell in your little world. You rather dwell in your phone, on your pages, and everything but what matters. So that being said, we're gonna bring out a couple of videos. But first, I want to bring out the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye not be troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. Verse 8. All of these are the beginning of sorrows. So, yeah, all that's happening right now. So let's go ahead and grab these videos real quick. It says it can't be hidden, something is coming.
And he testified in the UN Security Council had a meeting yesterday, and Ray McGovern spoke to it. He is a former member of the CIA, and he testified in support of Seymour Hersh's article on the United States bombing Nord Stream pipeline. If it is proven that the United States bombed the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, as has been asserted by Seymour Hersh and his article, will you call for the United States to acknowledge and admit that that was an act of war against Germany and Russia? And I'm asking this because this may be the only way to prevent the rest of us from being killed in a thermonuclear war. And I don't want to be fried. Don't you think the media should be reporting on whether or not this is true? And don't you think you should be inquiring into whether or not this is true?
Well, thank you for the question. One, I've got no information to suggest that the United States was involved in bombing the Nord Stream pipeline.
Now, y'all heard that lie? See how Esau trained his lapdogs to lie? Okay.
Because you would have been, you weren't briefed on it.
Sir, you got your chance to ask a question.
So give me an opportunity to respond.
You weren't given information because he explicitly says you weren't briefed on it. Shouldn't you inquire?
So here's what I'll say about, I think, President Biden's leadership generally as it relates to the Ukraine and Russia.
We committed an act of war. What are you doing to respond to that? We have to hold Biden accountable. Listen, you're from Brooklyn, right? You know when to call bullshit when you see it. So do I. This is bullshit right now. And I see what's happening right now. That does not silence me. So, you can hear me right now. I want you to say something about the bombing, because we're all going to die from a nuclear war right now unless you stop it and you at least put and inquire into whether or not it's true. This war in Ukraine is going to leave us all dead. So what are you going to do? Because you need to inquire. I'm a New Yorker too.
Here's what I'll say.
Say it.
We're going to continue to stand with the Ukrainian people.
That's fucking bull.
See how Esau stuck on stupid? Now, this is the thing with Esau. Esau, he thinks people don't know what's really going on. He thinks that people still believe his lies. And you see how stuck on stupid he is. This man is willing to destroy his own kingdom and put himself into captivity. Yet he calls himself intelligent. See what a dumbass he is? Now, when all you Edomites and you Amalekites and you other nations go into chains, thank Esau evil. We gonna thank him too.
Bullshit! Do not do that. You will end us all dead.
In this war against
We need peace. We need talks.
Because
Why are you
it's not
sabotaging
just-
talks?
it's
Do not
not
put your
just a
hands on
battle
me.
between
We need peace
Ukraine
talks.
and
I am not
Russia.
going to take this.
It's a
We
battle
need peace talks.
It's a
You
battle
are leaving.
between
Listen.
democracy
Did you even read the
and
allegations?
autocracy. It's a
No.
battle between truth
How about
and
accountability?
propaganda.
Not
And it's
airheadedness.
a battle between
Okay? How about
tyranny and
bridges,
freedom.
not bombs?
And democracy,
Okay? How about
truth, and freedom
conversations,
will
not
prevail.
cremation?
And the United States is going to help make sure
Diplomacy,
that happens.
not destruction. How about that?
I want to
huh?
ask
How
you to
about it?
join me
You
for a round of
goddamn
applause for
airhead, you're gonna
Congressman
kill us all.
Hakeem.
I don't want to die in a goddamn nuclear war, and
We certainly
nobody
appreciate
does.
it.
See how they smiling despite this man's pride? That's pride right there. I want them to keep that same energy when them chains get slapped on their ass when they go into slavery, if they survive. They ain't worried because they got bumpers. That's why they looking like that. Now, let's get a scripture real quick. Let's go to Amos chapter 9. This is Amos chapter 9, verse 2. Though they dig in the hell, thence shall mine hand take them. Though they climb up to heaven, thence will I bring them down. See, they already got bunkers. They're trying to go up into space. The Lord said, y'all ain't going nowhere.
The UN Security Council had a meeting.
Okay, we find it out. Now I got another one I want you to see. This one said, Esau says Babylon and NATO would never beat Russia in war. He is right. It's biblical. Let's go.
NATO will never beat Russia. NATO will never beat Russia. That will never happen. The United States will never beat Russia. We don't have the military capacity to defeat Russia in a large-scale ground conflict in Europe. That is a statement of fact. We could put everything America has in Europe today, and the Russians will beat us because we're not that good anymore. Now, we could spend trillions of dollars to rebuild the American conventional warfighting capability, but that's going to take years. The army we have right now cannot fight the Russians. It's physically unable to fight the Russians. As General Cavoli, the commander of U.S. forces in Europe and the Supreme Allied Commander, noted last January in a presentation he made to a Swedish Defense Forum, the scope and scale of the violence taking place in Ukraine between the Ukrainians and the Russians is beyond the imagination of NATO. Listen to what I just said, beyond the imagination. Now, if you're a military planner, that means you haven't imagined this, so everything you're planning for doesn't take into account reality. You don't have the firepower necessary. You don't have the force structure necessary. You don't have the tactics. You don't have the equipment. You don't have anything necessary to fight that conflict. And that's the state of play with NATO forces today. They spent the last 20 years preparing to do nation building in Afghanistan, low intensity conflict around the world, limited military peacekeeping missions in Europe. The last thing NATO has been preparing to do is put 120,000 men across the border to carry out large-scale ground combat against a peer-level force who is combat hardened and has been doing this for 15 months, is more prepared than they are. NATO can't do this, and yet van der Leyen, Stoltenberg, and others continue to pretend as if NATO has this capacity. They don't. NATO is bankrupt. They're bankrupt in terms of their training, their capacity. They've given all their weapons away to Ukraine. That's been burned up. They don't have the ability to build new weapons. Germany has just come out and they're sort of admitting that all this talk about spending 100 billion euros to rebuild the German army is just talk because no matter what Rheinmetall wants to do, they can't afford the steel. Nobody can make the steel because of high energy costs. The raw materials necessary to build this military either can't be procured or are too expensive to be procured.
Now I want to interject real quick. This is why Russia is so big in the news right now, and it goes back to Ezekiel chapter 38 when it says that Russia is going to take care of the smaller nations against Babylon, right? And we can start at verse 1. This is Ezekiel chapter 38, verse 1. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, verse 2, Son of man, set thy face against God. The land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against them. Gog and Magog is Russia. Verse 3, and say, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. Verse 4, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws. That means that, you know how you control an animal? Like a horse, you put a bridle, you put the reins on his face, and then he goes wherever his face is pulled. That's what the Lord is doing with Russia right now. He's turning them back into the Soviet Union. Verse 4, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, and all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Verse 5, Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. Verse 6, Gomer and all his bands, a house of Togarmah of the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee. Verse 7, Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. That's why everybody joining Russia, because Russia is like the big brother of all those other nations. Let's go.
And that's all of Europe is in that situation. So this notion of a rebuilt NATO army, etc., or in America, find a defense contractor right now that's prepared to do the short-term contracting necessary to produce the weapons that Ukraine needs. They won't. Why? Because their job isn't to create an American or a global defense capable of standing up to Russia. Their job is to make money. Their job is contracting. So they say, if you want us to do this, we need long-term contracts. So we produce enough equipment so that the profit margin is sufficient to make our investors and our board members happy. Russia doesn't have that problem. When Putin and the Russian leadership say, we need you to do X, Y, and Z, the Russian defense industry says, yep, we're doing it. Because they work for the state. They actually care about the defense of the state. Lockheed Martin and Raytheon don't give a rat's ass, excuse my language, about the defense of America. They only care about the bottom line. And right now, they
don't even care about protecting their own home. They put money over everything. That's what Babylon has created. Covetous people who only cares about themselves instead of uniting as a nation. You see, that's what happens with Babylon, the land of confusion. Everybody out for themselves.
They are saying, we're not going to do the short-term contracting that you want us to do to meet the supply requirements for Ukraine. We need longer-term contracts, but that's very expensive. And now we run into budget issues because Congress has to weigh in on that. And now we get...
Even though they life on the line, it's still all about money, money, money. That's why these Edomites are unfit to rule. Money, money, money. That's their God. Gold, oil, drugs.
In a debate within Congress about whether or not this is the right thing to do.
See, they got to have a conversation on whether it's the right thing to do. See how stuck on stupid Edomites are? That's why they are unfit to rule. And it's a simple situation, just a simple fix, but they make simple shit hard. They complicate things on purpose. That's what they do. They complicate things on purpose to so people think they're intelligent. But the reality of it is, a true genius simplifies, not complicates. Now, let's get some scripture. That's why they ain't really tripping. That's why they were smiling up on that platform. They ain't worried. At least they think they got everything sold up, got everything figured out. That's why they didn't worry. That's why they had smiles on their face. And this is why as well. Psalm chapter 49, verse 11, their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. They think they're going to be in charge forever. That's why they ain't true. Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 28, for they are a nation void of counsel, neither is there any understanding in them. That's why they unfit to rule. Okay. Revelation chapter 11, verse 14. The second woe was past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. Woe means destruction or war. Exodus chapter 15, verse 3. For all you people thinking that the Lord is he's just one big soft marshmallow. He's just gonna come down and pass out popsicles and hugs to everybody. No. Exodus chapter 15, verse 3. The Lord is a man of war. The Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai's name. Second Ezra chapter 6, verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follow it. And when Esau goes down, the end of his world, that's when the Lord comes back. Matter of fact, he's going to end Esau's world and put the Israelites back in leadership and put you nations, as well as you Edomites and you Amalekites, into hardcore captivity. Obadiah chapter 1, verse 2, behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Now everybody got nuclear weapons. At first, it was only the United States. That's why they was the bully on the block. Now everybody got guns now. Everybody got nukes. Thou art greatly despised. And everybody hates Esau right about now. Ezekiel chapter 36, verse 5. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against all Idumea, which is Greek for Edom, which have appointed my land into their possession. Israel, fake Jews, yeah. With the joy of all their heart, despiteful minds, and cast it out for a prey. Isaiah chapter 34, verse 5. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. His sword are those nuclear missiles. When it says they'll be bathed in heaven, that means they're going to be shot off. They're going up in the orbit, in the heavens, where they're bathed, and they're coming down and tear some shit up. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it is made with fatness, and with the blood of the lambs and the goats, and with the fat of the kidneys and the rams, all you heathen nations. For the Lord Yahweh shall have a sacrifice in Basra, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea, which is Greek for Edom, aka Babylon, aka the USA, the United Sodomites of America. Isaiah chapter 34, verse 8. For it is the day of the Lord's vengeance, and the year of recompense for the controversy of Zion. Because y'all been fucking with us. Excuse my French. Now the Lord gonna dish out the payback. Keep going. Isaiah chapter 13, verse 17. Behold, I will stir up the Medes of Russia against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. They don't want no money. They want that ass. The Lord put a spirit on them to destroy Babylon. Verse 18. Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruits of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. Verse 19. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellence, shall be as when Yahweh overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. Ooh. Yeah. Hold on. I got another scripture on that too. This is another reason why America is not going to win this war. Because if you think about it, the Chinese and the Russians, they're training their men to be men, first of all, and then they're soldiers. What does Babylon do? AKA ass backwards in the country. They brainwash all you men to be girly men. So if you got all these Lightfoots out there on the battlefield against these real men that hate your guts, who's going to be the victor? Hold on. Who's going to win? The men, the nation that trained their men to be men first and then soldiers? Or all the sugar cookies over here, right? Who's going to be the victor? Oh, I mean, you can't tell these people that because they're so proud. That's why they got to learn the hard way. And the Lord is about to give it to them. Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 30. This is the scripture I was looking for. The mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. They have remained in their holes. Their might have failed. See, their strength. This is the kicker. They become as women. They have burned her dwelling places. Her bars are broken. Yeah, you got a lot of sugar cookies around here, a bunch of Lightfoots. You think you're going against them hardcore men? No. Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 13. But it shall not be well with the wicked, neither shall he prolong his days, which are the shadow, because he feareth not before Yahweh. Isaiah chapter 26, verse 10. Their favor be shown to the wicked, yet will not learn righteousness. In the land of uprightness will he deal unjustly, because he and will not behold the master of the Lord Yahweh. Keep going. Book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 15. For the day of the Lord Yahweh is near upon all the heathen, as thou hast done. It shall be done unto thee, thy reward shall return upon thine own head. Verse 16. As ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, Israelites, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Well, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they have not been. That cup, that's the cup of the Lord's indignation, righteous hatred, which is filled with 1,000 years worth of captivity for you heathen nations, and you Edomites, and you Amalekites. Yeah, they shall drink. This ain't about you. This ain't in your control. Regardless of what you do, regardless of what you say, your judgment is written. Verse 17. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and these shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possession. Captivity. Not only are we going to possess you, but we're going to possess everything you have stolen. So, yes, you, heathen nations, are the reparation. Let's see. Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 8, because thou hast spoiled many nations, which means to rob. All the remnant of the people shall spoil thee because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land of the city and all that dwell therein. Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 11. Make bright the arrow, gather the shield. The Lord hath raised up a spirit of the kings of the Medes, the Russians. For his device is against Babylon to destroy it. Because it is the vengeance of the Lord, the vengeance of his temple. Who's the Lord's temple? The Israelites. Not no church. Where y'all receiving a whole bunch of lies from the devil. Verse 12. Set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon. Make the watch strong. Set up the watchmen. Prepare the ambush. For the Lord hath both devised and done that which he spake against the inhabitants of Babylon. Verse 14. The Lord of hosts sworn by himself, saying, surely I will fill thee with men as with caterpillars, and they shall lift up a shout against thee. Everybody lifting up a shout against Babylon right now. Verse 27, Jeremiah chapter 51. Set up a standard in the land, blow the trumpet among the nations, prepare the nations against her. Call together against her the kingdoms of Amerikkha, Mene, and Ashkenaz, which is Armenia, Turkey, and Germany. Appoint a captain against her. Cause the horses to come up as the rough caterpillars. Verse 28. Prepare against her the nations with kings of the Medes, the Russians, the captains thereof, and all the rulers thereof, and all his dominion. All the captains are preparing for war. All these nations are preparing for war. Matter of fact, just the other day in North Korea, they had some type of ceremony. They were swearing to destroy Babylon. Verse 29. And the land shall tremble and sorrow, for every purpose of the Lord shall be performed against Babylon, to make the land of Babylon a desolation without an inhabitant. Isaiah chapter 13, verse 6. How ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Verse 5. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. What is his weapons of indignation? Them nuclear missiles. Verse 7. Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. You ain't gonna believe your eyes. Rather, they're gonna make a lot of y'all have heart attacks. It's prophesied. Verse 8. And they shall be afraid, pains and sorrows shall take hold of them, and they shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth, which means giving birth. And they shall be amazed one at another, their faces shall be as flame. Nuclear fire. Nuclear lake of fire and revelation. You're gonna die and go to hell. Hell is about to come to you. Let's do what else we got. Sirach chapter 27, verse 27. He that worketh mischief, it shall fall upon him, and he shall not know whence it cometh. That's that monkey wrench the Lord gonna throw in your plan, your master plan. Esau, aka Pinky in the brain, wanna rule the world. You're gonna rule, like you're gonna control. The only thing you're gonna control is construction. And for all those people over there now, land claim to be us, saying that they're chosen, you're right, you are chosen. You are chosen. 1,000 years of captivity and extermination. That's what you were chosen for. Sirach chapter 10, verse 3, an unwise king destroyeth his people, but the prudence of them which are in authority of the city, Colossians, shall be inhabited. Lamentations chapter 4, verse 21. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken and shalt make thyself naked. That cup for the right hand is the Lord's indignation, right? Hatred towards you people, especially you Edomites and you Amalekites. Verse 22. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion, Israelites. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom, Edomites. He will discover thy sins. And all your sins are being exposed right about now in the information age. The internet, yeah. You can get information just like that now. Soon as they mess up, bam, it's on the internet going worldwide. Proverbs chapter 14, verse 17. He that is angry dealing foolishly, and a man of wicked devices hated. Who was that? Esau? Okay. Very good. Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 7. And Yahweh will put all these curses upon your enemies and on them that hate you, which persecuted you. Second Ezra chapter 15, verse 6. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Obadiah chapter 1, verse 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee. Thou shalt be cut off forever. Psalm chapter 10, verse 6. He have said in his heart, I shall not be moved. I shall never be in adversity. That's that pride talking, man. But you forget, the Lord said, paraphrasing the scripture, the deceived and the deceiver are his. Keep on walking in pride. Especially you proud people. Sirach chapter 10, verse 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches gotten by deceit. Kingdom is translated from one people to another. From the Edomites back to the Israelites. Isaiah chapter 47, verse 7. This is that pride of Esau talking again. And thou saidest, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thine heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it. They didn't think about the end. They don't never think about the end. That's the same reason why Esau sold his birthright. He didn't think about the latter time. Isaiah chapter 47, verse 6. I was wroth with my people. I have polluted my inheritance, Israelites, and given them into thine hand. Thou didst show no mercy. See, upon the ancient hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke. That's why he gonna get y'all ass, because you show no mercy. And it's biblical. Roughly paraphrasing the scripture, those that show no mercy shall have no mercy. Isaiah chapter 47, verse 5. I know I'm reading backwards. Sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldees, Edomites. For thou shalt no more be called the lady of kingdoms. And you can see that going on right now. At first, everybody was scared of America because they were waving their gun up in everybody's face. Now, everybody's shitting on America because of their history, because of their lies, their theft, and their murder. Verse 4. As for our Redeemer, the Lord Yahweh of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel. Not everybody. Isaiah chapter 63, verse 4, for the day of vengeance is in mine heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. Redeemed means revenge. Isaiah chapter 47, verse 3, thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Yeah, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. He's coming back as a power, along with the chariots, along with the 144,000 super soldiers, that's going to tear this place up and put you nations into captivity, especially you Edomites and Amerikkans. Now let's go to this place gonna go. Let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 34. Isaiah chapter 34, verse 1. Come near, ye nations, to hear and hearken, ye people, let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world and all the things that come forth of it. Verse 2. For the indignation of the Lord is upon all the nations, for his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them, he hath delivered them to the slaughter. This is a future prophecy. Verse 3. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stench shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. Verse 4. And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. That's a mushroom cloud. And all their hosts shall fall down, as the leaf falleth off from a vine, and as the falling fig from a fig tree. We get verse 5 again. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judge. Now let's see. Let's go back to the chapter 14. All right. This is Zechariah chapter 14, verse 11. And men shall dwell in it, and there shall be no more utter destruction, but Jerusalem shall be safely inhabited. Future prophecy. Verse 12. And this shall be the plague wherein the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem, Israelites. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. Your ass being melted while you are alive. Verse 13. And it shall come to pass in that day that a great tumult from the Lord shall be among them, and they shall lay hold everyone on the hand of his neighbor, and his hand shall rise up against the hand of his neighbor. Everybody fighting each other. That's the chaos the elites want, so they can bring in martial law. That's the quickest way around the Constitution, the quickest way around the rights that you thought you had. We can get one more. Wait. Got this thing. Go to the book of Malachi. Get a couple more, then we can close. Points been made. This place is through. Malachi chapter 4, verse 1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, and that is verbatim. That is scriptural. And all the proud, and all they that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. You notice he called you out, proud people. So get ready, go get you a good seat on the grill, bro, so you at least enjoy the show before you get melted. And I'm gonna get one more, then we're gonna close. Ezekiel chapter 22, verse 20. This is proof that you don't die and go to hell, but hell is coming to you. Ezekiel chapter 22, verse 20. As they gather silver and brass and iron and lead and tin into the midst of the furnace to blow the fire upon it, to melt it, so will I gather you in mine anger and in mine fury, and I will leave you there and melt you. So all you people that's proud, don't be proud, people. Until that fat touch that ass. And we're gonna see if you still got that same energy. Call Lord Lala High now with your Howard by Shim Howard Shah Mashiach while Malaki by Shim Howard Rock 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 Rock